How you doing? It's the Butcher here, and today I have a video I wanted to bring with you. So I've been doing a little testing with the DoomBringer on my Rogue, and I don't think it is actually working as intended unless I am missing something. I don't think the portion down here at the bottom, the lucky hit chance with the shadow damage, is actually working. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. Obviously the rest of the stuff is, you can see if I take it off, my damage and life go down. If I put it back on, I obviously get a huge boost to that. So that appears to be working. The 5% chance, I'm not really sure. I haven't tested that too much. But what I'm really concerned about is this bottom part, because it's a pretty big deal. So you're supposed to have a 25% chance to deal about 9,000 shadow damage to surrounding enemies and reduce their damage done by 20% for 5 seconds. Now, that sounds absolutely fantastic, specifically the DR part, but also if you're doing shadow damage, you can also proc it with X falls, you would think, but there appears to be a little bit of a problem with this. Actually, you can't proc it with X falls, I'm sorry, because it's not damage over time, but really the main thing that you're looking for with this is the damage reduction. So I've been testing it. So what I did is I took the aspect, Blade Dancer's aspect off, so my twisting blades won't spin around anymore, so I'm able to test this much more easily. So I'm going to walk up to this guy. You can see these are all at full health. And it should be doing shadow damage to the surrounding enemies, which, you know, if you want to argue these are not surrounding, these two should absolutely count as surrounding. But if you see, if I just keep stabbing this guy with my twisting blades, do you see anything happening with these enemies? And see, this is very hard to test in like nightmare dungeons because, you know, we have poison imbuement going on. There's so much going on you don't really see. But from what I'm looking at here, I'm not seeing. Okay, so that was the days spread. So let me take off shared misery just to make things even a little bit easier. And we'll just keep hitting them. Now, are you seeing with these guys? Are you seeing anything happen? I don't see. If I just constantly stab them, nothing is happening. Unless I'm crazy. And I'm going to do it enough times to show. We'll see there. Okay, so right there, did it proc to him? Something just seems to be off. Because we have 38% lucky hit chance with our twisting blades, and if I do the quick math, 38 times 0.25, about 9.5% of the time, so let's just call it 10 for the sake of it, about 10% of the time we should be proccing this. So let's go over to our buddy over here and check out these two guys. So one, see, that looks like it procced it and did a little bit of damage. Haven't hit it again, but if we did proc it once, I guess that would make sense. It seems very confusing, and also, why is it not going to him? He's essentially the same distance. Let's see if I walk over kind of on this side of him. I'm kind of doing this as I go with you guys. I'm not seeing it, and again, these are a lot of hits. I'm not seeing it go. One, I think it went to him once, it kind of looked like. Again, it's hard to tell. And I'm not seeing it move to this one at all, even though now I'm standing closer to him. But look, okay. So that looked like it did. So why is it not going to this enemy, though? And let's see if I hit this guy in the middle here, if it affects any of the other 4. I mean, I'm not, this is how many now, and I'm not seeing anything. I'll give it a couple more goes, but I'm not seeing a proc, and our health bars look very full. Yes, so what counts as surrounding? So it does appear, I'm gonna go back to this guy for a sec and hit him a couple more times. Was that because it procced, or is my like twisting blade somehow hitting him? I guess is the question. I want to see. Okay, so it's definitely, it appears to be going to this enemy right here about as it should. Now, when I take surrounding enemies, I think if this could be a bug with the training dummies. I would think if I'm hitting this guy right here, I would think these should all count as surrounding enemies. It doesn't say close enemies, but I mean, there's no really other way we could test this. And I did actually try going out in the wild a little bit, but it's very tough, honestly, because you're hitting them and they're moving around. Well, let's try something. Let's go. Let's do the tunnels right here because there's a lot of enemies, and let's see what we can try to figure out. Because to me, this doesn't seem to be working as intended. At least if it is, it seems to be a little deceiving to me on what's categorized as surrounding enemies. Because it does definitely look like it does proc occasionally. I just thought it was going to proc to all of them, quite honestly. So it looks like they may have to be right on top of each other, which is a pretty, I mean, it's still nice, but it does make me kind of think about the DoomBringer a little bit different, quite honestly, if they got to be that close. So let's see what we can do here. So there's a lot of enemies in here. Again, we'll try to test this. So let's take off this too, actually. So if we do want to use, no, let's not do that. And let's not use puncture, or let's take it off, but puncture is not going to really make sense because we have it throwing 3 blades. We can actually, I guess we can just go like this. Okay, so now we got several options here. Let's see what we can do and see what we can test. So you don't really make sense to hit. Let me see if I hit these guys here. I mean, it's just really hard to tell in here like this. I mean, I'm not seeing it really. You guys can tell me differently, but I guess let's throw out some of these. Now, is it going to spread to this guy behind me? Is the question? Now, like, okay, let's say you right here. Okay, how? God, he's got the curse. Let me just take care of that guy. Let's try a different little group here. Okay. I'm hitting him a bunch of times. It doesn't look like it spreads any of these guys. I mean, like I said, this is very hard to test because it doesn't, with the training dummies, it appears they have to be basically on top of them, but see, that looked like shadow right there. So these guys are all on top of each other. It doesn't look like shadow's doing anything to them. So now, I hope you guys see what I'm talking about, because to me there appears to be a little bit of disconnect. And you can see right now I'm using puncture and I'm throwing out a ton of punctures. How would I test this out? It's kind of tough. I almost need to go to, like, I have some volunteers to go to PvP maybe? A PvP zone? And, like, see how close they have to stand next to each other for it to pop to them maybe? Okay, it looks like there's a little pop right there. So I guess what at least what it appears like to me is when they say surrounding enemies, they don't mean like this. They mean like these two basically kissing each other. You see right there, there's the shadow. So Okay, so we kind of live like walked right through it. So it has to be very close enemies, which to me, when they say surrounding enemies, that would mean like a little bubble. Like when we went into the training dummies, I guess I still don't understand the middle one, but the other ones, appear to make sense. How it wouldn't be spreading all the way to the other side, at least with the way it's working. But to me, let me put my gear back on. To me, this is a little bit deceiving with the DoomBringer, and it's something to keep in note when you put it in your class. Now, I'm still going to be using it on my rogue one because we are constantly, just in the mix with a lot of them and have such high lucky hit that it will still work. But for some other classes, mainly my barb, I'm not so sure if I'm actually going to continue using this now after this, because I think I might be better off with another mace there if this is the way this is working. So yeah, definitely, like, let me know what you guys think, because I think this is a little bit interesting. I'm not sure if anyone else has discussed this before, but it appears that the enemies have to basically be on top of each other for this to actually work. And this makes me think that, on barbs and necros, that this isn't going to be that good. For rogues, I still think it will be. But for barb and necro, especially because you lose out on a weapon spot, and this, what really, you could say the max life and the damage what makes it so good, but this was a huge part of it, that bottom piece. With that not working, especially at least on my barb, that has me reconsidering whether I want to use it or not. So if anyone else has done any testing, if anyone else has a better explanation, let me know, because it appears to me that the surrounding enemies should say like very close, because they literally have to be, like I said, like basically kissing each other for it to work. But it's been the Butcher. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know what you think, and let me know if anyone has a better understanding than I do of exactly how this works. Thanks, guys.